My hair looks crazy again. Per usual. Well, here we are. We are doing the thing. Alright, guys. I'm just going to do a try to get ready with me. Like, they're always kind of the same. But I'm not really going to go into detail about what I'm putting on my face. We're just going to talk about some stuff on my mind. How about that? That sounds good. I don't really feel like wearing a lot of makeup. Anyway, alright. So, a week ago, I got a video up and I'm dropping everything. Let me just adjust this. A week ago was my birthday. I got a video up on my birthday. And I talked about how I was having a hard time turning 35, which I was. And I put that on a picture of myself, and I said this was just a hard birthday for me, like turning 35. I actually did a TikTok on it too, because I love TikTok, and you should follow me on that too. Anyway, and I got so many people messaging me or commenting on my picture saying, it's a privilege to turn 35, you're still young, you have so much time left, blah, blah, blah. So it got me thinking. And my dad called me and said, are you still depressed about turning 35? Like, in the history of people having problems and saying like, hey, I'm having a hard time with this, when has it ever worked for someone to say, you shouldn't be feeling that way, let it go? I would wager 99.9% of the time it doesn't work. I understand where it's coming from, and I appreciate it. I know people are trying to be helpful, but also, I know these things. I know these things. I'm not sad about turning 35 because I'm aging, or because I had so many people tell me too, like, you don't look 35. You look like you're in your 20s. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's not my appearance that's making me, like, panic about turning 35. It's the panic of, I thought I'd be in a different place now. I thought I would be in a job that's secure. I'm not. I thought I would not be in debt. I am. I thought I would be, married for years, which, I'm going on for. Yes, that's true. I have a lot to be thankful of, and I'm not saying I'm not. But when you turn 35 as a female, your reproductive years are very limited. And I don't think that's something that really sets in until you start really ticking down. I'm now in a high risk age for having a baby. I only have a certain number of years left, and that panic sets in. So it's like, are we going to do this? Are we not? Well, to the average person, you try to have a baby and you get pregnant and, that, and you do the damn thing. Well, my husband and I can't without some possible intervention. And we don't even know our options yet because we still have to go to the urologist. So I don't know if that's an option for us, and it'll be okay if it's not. I will process and move on. We'll be the child-free couple. I'm not saying that's a bad thing or wrong, but you kind of have to grieve that in a way. So nobody's life goes as anticipated. Nothing goes according to plan. When you plan stuff, it's just a joke. I mean, to a certain extent. we weren't sure if we wanted to have kids. And for a minute there, I was on board to not. And then I got a little older thinking, well, maybe we should see. And nothing happened. Doctor's appointments and specialists have told us that things aren't working the way they want or the way that they should be. And we'd have to see a urologist to see if it's a possibility. And it's on my husband's part. He has to be willing to go the route if there is a possible solution. And I can't ask him to say, like, yes, I'm going to sign up for surgery, or yes, I'm going to do this, or XYZ. We don't even know if that's a choice yet, or a possibility, maybe the remedy. I don't know. We still have to go. But, of course, during a pandemic, our urologist appointment was canceled, which puts, a little bit more pressure, a little bit more stress, to see, what route we're going to take. I don't know. But I do know that my age is a factor, not a factor to my husband. So I put a hard stop age on myself at 38. I don't want to be 40 and having a baby. I don't want to sign up for that at all. But also, I don't want to say it's a hard no yet, but I'm 35. So realistically, in the grand scheme of things, I have 2 years to get pregnant. Since, pregnancies and, whatever, nothing is just immediate. It's hard to really put it into words. And then you get to a point where, like, well, is that what I want? Should we, go down, do we really go down that road? Should we just be fine being childless? And, maybe that's just the plan. That's what we should be. And, already having financial difficulties with student loans and, the average American. Do you sign up for more debt? When do you say, like, it's just not meant for us? And I don't want to spend a ton of money to, see if it's even, like, so this is an example. My dog that I had before these two that I have now, he was sick. All of a sudden he was sick. Took him to the vet. They done the x-ray, and they said he had a mass in his stomach and they needed to open him up and do exploratory surgery. And I said, he was 12 at the time. I'm nervous to do a surgery because I'm afraid that you're going to open him up. It's not going to be something that you can just easily remove. It's going to be something more serious. And then I'm going to be paying all this money and not have a dog at the end of it. And that's exactly what happened. They opened him up, saw it was a pool of blood because his organs were bleeding because he had tumors riddled through his body. And we had to let him go. And that was devastating. And I got a $1,200 bill and no dog. So I'm afraid that we're going to, and this is, ridiculous to associate it to the same thing, but I'm afraid to say, like, yes, we're going to do these things, sign up for it, jump through all these hoops. And I know nothing in life is guaranteed. But after trying to get into a more financial responsible place, do you do that? I don't know. Yes, I have insurance. No, it doesn't cover most infertility treatments. I don't know. It just has me thinking about a lot of things. And I put a lot of pressure on myself because of it. And ipso facto, that's why I had a hard time turning 35. Because My years are very limited. I feel pressure on having to make a decision now, and a combination of various other things. So, what do? I don't know. I asked my husband if he was going to reschedule his urology appointment. He feels pretty done with doctors at this point because this year he had Bell's palsy and he had a kidney stone, and he's just not wanting to go through more invasive testings, which I can understand. We had a really horrible experience with our first urologist. He told us the first thing, not only was he 2 hours late to our appointment, we drove an hour to get there. He said, because urology, their appointments are really hard to, like, come by up here, so the appointments take forever to get into. So we found one that, we were able to get to within 2 months. So we went to it. He was 2 hours late. He walks in. He goes, "Oh, infertility counseling, huh? Well, I'll tell you right now, don't have them." And then goes into this 5-minute rant about how awful kids are, especially if you have a daughter, because they're the worst. And then you want to, they hate you until they're in their 20s. And, when they turn 16, you want to get a gun. You want to shoot everybody because, they're looking at her and, blah, blah. And, but it takes until about 24 when it's actually worth it. And do you really want to wait 24 years for it to be worth having a baby? I looked at him and I said, I didn't drive 3 hours to hear your opinion on the matter. Because I didn't. So the appointment went on. It was very awful. Very awful. So we didn't want to go back to him. We tried finding another one, which the next one was available was, I think that was in October we went. The next appointment was in March, the end of March. So we had that set, and then the pandemic happened. All appointments were canceled. So we didn't get to go. And he has one set for September for a different one, because we set 2 at the same time. And maybe he'll go to that one. I don't know. But still, it's just like, wow, that's September. It's just, it's time sensitive. And my husband is not time sensitive. It's different for men than for women. And it's frustrating when it's not in my control. I'm not a control freak until I can't control something. I'm learning more about myself. I need to not stress about things I can't control. So, I don't know. I don't know what will happen. We will be fine one way or the other. But I just put a lot of pressure on myself. So, therefore, it was hard for me to turn 35 with the baby stuff. A lot of people never understand that. I know my dad is one of them. My dad has even told us that we shouldn't have children. Because, I guess I was terrible growing up. And we were told by somebody else that because of choices we made, God is punishing us and not allowing us to have children. It's an interesting ride. The comments that you get from people regarding, specifically children. But also, I'm not in a job where I'm happy. My job is in jeopardy. I don't know what I want to do with my life. And yes, I have a lot of time to figure that out, but maybe I don't. Life is not guaranteed. You're not guaranteed to live till you're 80, 90, 100. The average life expectancy, you're not guaranteed that. So when people say, oh, you're so young, you have time to figure it out, that might not be true. Anybody can die at any time. Spoiler alert. Which is not how I go through life, thinking morbid thoughts like that. But it's realistic. I'm 35. Realistically, I have a longer road ahead of me. But I thought it would be like, you're supposed to struggle in your youth. You're supposed to struggle. Like, I'm fortunate that I don't struggle. I'm fortunate that we have a home that we purchased. I mean, a mortgage. I'm very fortunate that we were able to do the things, and I know I'm more fortunate than others. I don't discredit that in any way, and I'm grateful for how hard I've worked, how my husband's worked, and the privileges that I've had granted to me through life. There's just no guarantees. So that is why I had a hard time turning 35. And it's funny because I've mentioned it to other friends too, and I have a friend who, she is turning 41 this summer, and she said 35 was her mental breakdown. She's got 5 children, so obviously not for the same thing. I have another friend who's turning 35 who said the same thing. 35 is hard for her to turn. She's got 4 children, so obviously they're not the same exact reasons, but also I think it's a point where you hit it and you're thinking, oh, I'm not invincible. My time here is not unlimited. That is life, and it is fine. I am much better now this week than I was last week. I am happy. I'm accepting of being 35. I'm not a perfectionist. I mean, I think, let's be honest, that's pretty clear. But also, I don't like to settle. And that's very difficult for me to come to terms that I can't make something better, or not want more for myself. So I don't want to be in debt. I need to work on getting out of it. I want a better job. I need to work on finding a better one. There's a strong possibility that my job will be cut next round. So I need to put a little bit more pressure on myself to find something that I can move into. It's very difficult during a pandemic when there's hiring freezes everywhere and millions and millions of people being out of a job. And also looking for the same thing. That mascara went all over my face. Whatever. Moral of the story, life goes on. I'm fine. I had a hard time. I'm better. And I'll move past it. And I'll keep you updated if you want. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to me rant. I really appreciate you tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.
You doing the video?
Oh, I was, yeah.
I'm trying to talk to you out here.
Oh, I'm not in there.